Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the review realm once again. Another album review for you. If you are new to the show, please hit the like button on us, subscribe to the show. It really helps us out with our album reviews. You can find us on YouTube and on most streaming platforms, and including Spotify. Links will be in the description. However, you are watching, we thank you. And as always, joining me for these album reviews, the other half of the review realm, Sam, the SLB. Sam?
Hey guys, we got another exciting one, and yeah, this is we got another thrash album. I don't know when the last time I've listened to this band though, so I'm excited to talk about this one.
Yeah, Sam, you'll be surprised. I'm going to get into it a little bit more. I know of this band. Honestly, I'm not super familiar with them. And I'll explain more in a bit, but let me introduce who we're talking about first. Of course, we are talking about the thrash metal band known as Exodus and their 13th album now. And I think the first album in 5 years or so, Goliath. I I have to say it like that now. I've heard it in a trailer, movie trailer before like that, so I have to.
Yeah, so if you guys don't already know, they're considered like the second tier of the next four of the original thrash metal 80s thrash metal bands. Um, Kirk Hammett's original band.
Yep.
Um, if I'm being honest with you, the first I've only listened to the first album, Bonded by Blood. So
Yeah. So this band, even though like you mentioned, like Kirk Hammett was in this band, and this band really fell under the radar with me. And I've always known who they were. I've just never really sat down with them until now, and that may have been a mistake, Sam, because I will tell you right off the bat, I think this album is great.
um So it's funny. I was gonna say the same thing. We are like on point this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I Here's the thing. I have a very soft spot for thrash metal, especially older thrash metal. The big four, obviously. Um, Overkill. I like Sodom out of Germany. Actually, Crater was another one that we hadn't really listened to a lot of. So I have a soft spot, especially for the older bands. And like I said, I haven't listened to them since Bonded by Blood, and I listened to that in high school. And I was like, all right, cool, awesome. Now I heard this, and man, what a release.
Yeah, and I will say this before I even sat down and listened to it, I was a little worried about this one because I don't know the band's material very well, even though I know who they are. And leading up to this, I saw the thumbnail of another review. I won't say who, no free plugs. But their thumbnail, it said, and I didn't watch it either, of course, but I said that it's like, is this the worst Exodus album of all time, or something like that, paraphrasing. And that could not be farther from the truth on this album.
Well, let's put it like this. We could listen to this, we could love this album, and then we could revisit everything, and then go, yeah,
Yeah,
this is definitely their worst album. But if this is their worst album, it can only go up from there.
right. So yeah, so we might as well just start diving into this with the three singles that were out there. We had Free 111 and Promise You, and then the title track, of course. I probably my favorite of the three of them would probably be. It's a tough pick. It's either between Promise You This, or the title track itself.
For me, the title track, and I will just say right now, is my favorite track off this album. Um, I loved how the album starts off really strong at 3111, just very heavy, in your
Yeah.
face, traditional thrash. You're like, all right, this is good. Um, and then once you get to Goliath, it
Yeah.
slows down. It almost says, hey, I'm and you know this, you think about, like Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets, or maybe some of these others where like thrash metal is pretty good with making their title tracks like stick out. And this felt no different. Like it like slowed it down, and it was heavy, and it just
Yeah. Really,
yeah.
I thought slow and heavy fit the title of Goliath extremely
Mhm.
well. Really, and I don't know who Katie Jacoby is. Apparently, she's a violinist. I think
Mhm.
I did not hear a violin on that song, but if she was on there, I'll take their word for it.
There were keyboards on there. It says strings. I heard keyboards, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
But yeah, I'd say probably that was the strongest um, single wise. I also think I thought the "Changing Me" with Peter Tägtgren of Hypocrisy on there, it was awesome too. I said I like
Mhm.
this one a lot. I really like the riff on it. I'm like, this should have been a single.
Yeah, I was actually shocked because when I was looking, I'm like, this is like promo. This is like promotional worthy. Like, eh, I'm not familiar with the band Hypocrisy, so I'm also that opens up a whole another door for me. But man, his voice and just the whole song, I'm like, to me, that's where I really noticed. I'm like, we got a solid album on our hands.
No, seriously, I was really impressed, and also too one I was torn about it from the start, but the production on this album, I it sounded decent at first, but then with Hostis Humani Generis, I thought, oh, maybe it's not so great. In another song too, like Summon of the God Unknown, I didn't really know
Mhm.
how I felt about it, but I came to the conclusion with this album. I said, no, I said, this sounds fine. I said, there are songs on here where the riffs are just excellent, and they seem to get better and better as the album goes on.
I felt like a little kid. I felt like I was in middle school rediscovering thrash metal again.
No, I was yeah, I'm trying to say as many good things about it as I can just because I was really impressed with it. Another thing too that I thought was every song seemed to have a different type of intro to it.
Hmm.
This album had a lot of variety, surprisingly, with something like Thrash, or where you think just, oh, everything is fast. Not the case here. I thought I mentioned the Changing Me, but Beyond the Event Horizon was another one. Really fast, really
Hmm.
thrashy on that, and I liked the bridge, even though it wasn't really a bridge because it seemed to change it up a bunch of times. It slowed it down, and I was I was blown away.
Yeah, and it's just under an hour. It's 54 minutes. There was not a single time on this I looked at the clock and been like, all right, are we getting close? Because we have this theme right now where like somewhere towards the end of the album, it feels like it's dragging, and this album did not drag. I kind of wanted more, honestly.
I did too. It just every song I seem to just have this shocked reaction of it offering something different. I really felt that way by 2 minutes hate, which oddly is almost 5 minutes. But e- each riff seemed to get better and better. Um, and even with the dirtiest of the dozen, it had that bass lick in there, and I said, I said, "What is going on here? It's everything seems different, and it's good."
We I mean, in summary, we hit the jackpot with this one. And I'm definitely gonna first of all, everyone, if you guys have suggestions on Exodus albums to listen to, please drop them in the comments because now John and I are intrigued.
No, honestly, so Sam, I was wondering, did you have other personal favorites on the album too?
Yeah. I did like Summon the God Unknown, the Dirtiest of the Dozen. Those last the way the album ended, I just loved those two songs. I gotta revisit it. Like there's plenty of albums that we always, we come across and we like listen to them like it's good, and you might get to it sometime later. But this is one I kind of want to like put on once we're done recording.
No, honestly, this is top 10. This is top 10 of the year, a contender potentially. Um,
Hmm.
I really was torn on the production, like I said, but I actually, Napalm Records did this. Excuse me. But I ultimately came to the conclusion. I said, no, this sounds good. I said that there's no problem with this production wise.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, if this is the worst of the bunch, then there's a lot of good music to listen to then.
No, this, yeah, like I said, we both think this is solid. You know, we seem to be on point with how we feel this year. I'm looking forward to the day where we're not on the same page about an album. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much our thoughts on the new album from Exodus, Goliath. Really, really impressed with this one. Please give it a listen if you have not already. Thanks for joining us for this album review. We got definitely have more to come. It's only March, people. And as always, do not forget to join the Bedlam.